Hello, Sharif here. And today I want to talk to you about, let's say the last 30 years and maybe our last 30 days. Um, I've been working with Commonway for quite a while, 30 years or so. And the whole time I'm looking at how do we actually um, live in the society of our future? How do we let go of over focus on a problem? We know the more we focus on a problem, the more problem we get. Almost everybody watching this video has seen or at least heard about The Secret, has heard about the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. You keep thinking about it, you're going to get it. And we keep thinking about our problems. And we get more problems. It's our fault. We're doing it to ourselves. No one's doing this for us, to us. I am the one who controls my thought process. Or I turn on the television and let whoever's on the other side of that screen control my thought process. But it's still my choice of whether or not I'm turning on the television, whether or not I'm turning on social media, whether or not I'm doing anything that robs me of my free will, my volition, my vision, and how I choose to work in the world. 30 years I've been encouraging people to do that, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that's a really good idea, but I'm going to do that later. I want to talk about these bad guys over here." About 22 years or so, I wrote a book called Creating a World That Works for All. Um, it outlines the different states of consciousness that we experience on our planet: the keepers, the breakers, and the menders. We're the menders. We're not organizing ourselves as a whole new way of consciousness. About 8 years ago, when I was in the Himalayas, I was deposited a series of books. One of them is the Chronicles of the Upheavals, and it's the next one in the series was the Chronicles of the Awakening. In here, I talk about our 100-year future. 100 years from now, humanity makes it. And humanity makes it through all the garbage about to hit us. Oh, I'm sorry, the garbage that's hitting us right now and the garbage that's about to hit us. And these books are about how we get through these times. How do we actually get through this? What are the values and what are the actions that are going to get us through here? And I've had people say, "Oh, this is really, really good. This is really entertaining. I really enjoy these books." But they don't do anything toward bringing about the reality of a society that's dedicated to a world that works for all living beings. And so we drift closer and closer to catastrophe. Just this past, in this year, in 2022, I got yet another revelation, and that revelation said that in a few months, not a few years, in a few months, we're going to be experiencing something that is going to drive us to a new society, something that's going to push us toward a new society. An event or events that are inexplicable, that are surprising, that's impossible, but it will be actually happening. What those events may be is going to be anybody's guess. But when it hits, it's going to be no question like, oh, there it is. That could be anything from a landing of space aliens to the opening of our latent powers. And if you want to know about latent powers, you should see some of my other videos. Um, us developing greater coherence as human beings, us coming together closer, or us pulling apart further, increasing suicides, increasing self-harm, increasing murders and violence, increasing psychic decoherence. It will look like the entire society has gone crazy. Now, I know which one I want. I know which ones that you want. But the question isn't what you want. The question is, what are you willing to work for and work on right now? When are you going to let go of the narrow, constricted way that you've been seeing your reality? When are you going to open to all of the other possibilities on how human beings can behave on this planet? When are you going to open up to the notion that you can create a new society based on your values, based on cooperative values, based on values like love and compassion, values like vision as opposed to locking into the status quo. Values like putting life first and therefore putting corporations last. When I talk about creating a world that works for all living beings, we have to understand what a living being is. We spend all of our time focusing on beings that are not alive. We spend very little time focusing on beings that are sharing our planet and that we could be partnering with to find joint solutions to our challenges. Our choice is really simple, but most of us are choosing not to see it. Most of us, and people do this even in the face of active emergencies. I was watching a police stop a few years ago. They'd stopped a car, and they were very slowly getting the passengers out of this car. But the police were all aimed that way. I'm standing behind the police. And there are people in the front of the police kind of looking at this whole scene as though it's a movie. And the police officers with their bullhorns are saying, "You people standing in front of the red building, you are in the line of fire. If we have to shoot, we will be shooting at you." And I'm very serious. These people looked at each other, and they kind of slid over like maybe a foot or two. And he says again, "You are still in the line of fire. You need to not be able to see me. You need to get out of the way." And they would not get out of the way. And this is because we have this very interesting phenomena. We know bad things happen, but we don't believe that they can happen to us. We know bad things are happening, but I'm going to put on my smiley face, I'm going to put on my happy face, and therefore it won't happen to me. I believe in smiley faces and happy faces, but I also believe in getting out of the line of fire. What we have to do is not know where the bullets are coming from, but know what we need to do if and when any bullets are happening. We need to let go of the Pollyanna behavior that we've got. And we need to adopt a way of thinking about the world that says, no, this is up to me. We're going to do this now. It's our time. It's our call.